So, and some of your feet and things will be in here because I usually try to record in case you guys want to watch it later. You saw your toy, I saw that. Here, here's this. You find it? That's still okay. It's technically the source. But so she comes in, the snuffle mats are just simply that I put treats or snacks or kibble on them, and usually they'll search to find them, but those are all brand new. I brought them out for you guys. But when she comes in and starts to search, now, do you think she's searching for odor, or do you think she's searching for something else? Now, she's not wrong if she comes to me for odor, but... Oh, yes. Good girl. So I'm going to re-engage her brain, and I'm going to pay her at the source. So your better than a cookie game actually starts just like this. Yes. And you see how I want her to probably stay at the odor versus come bouncing back. Faster, faster. Are you brand new? Yes. I jokingly say, but it's true enough, I backburner my own dog, so sometimes I don't get as much training as they should. Yes. And so I just want to keep it fun and exciting. If she just chooses the right thing, yes, she gets paid. Because then I can actually, hopefully, soup. Yes. And pay her at the source. Soup. Yes. She will pick them. She also brings me things. So she'll bring me when we're doing tracking. If somebody, say, drops a credit card, keys, patch clothes, loses a sock, she'll bring it to me to say, this is what it is. This is something that the person had. Because that way I'm not missing something if I'm stepping over it, or if there's something that, is quickly following her, she indicates that that was something that the person had. Soup. Yes. I have it.
What do you recommend as an indicator?
Yes. I actually don't really tell people that they have to do an indicator. I watch my dog. I usually watch my dog's tail set. Some people prefer pawing. Some people actually prefer laying down. Like what we call the soup flop, so they actually lay down at the article, which I do. But usually I'll teach a retrieve personally. For odor, for nose work, I just watch the dog. And she'll typically wag her tail and get excited when she finds the odor. And I also don't want to be like too obvious about pointing it out to her. I just want to be able to follow her. If I know it's not over there, I might hold still and let her work the odor. And possibly any other odors that are there. Yes! So she is a brand new dog, which is why she doesn't have, like, again, like a constant tell. Usually she'll stay by it, or she'll bring it to me. Yes. She'll point it out. Hello. Over here. So on my short leashes, 5 to 6 feet leashes, whether it's leather or nylon, it doesn't really matter. Can you bring it to me? Thank you. I recommend if you are going to go to trials and things, you probably want to do like a 10 or 15 foot leash so that they have more room to work with. In which case, too, as their odor detection gets better, I find that they actually start to stay at the odor and they'll start prancing. You can start to get excited eventually, but right now I recommend for starters it's always quiet. Like it's always just let the dog think, let the dog find the odor, and be able to help them. Because what if one of you just hid this around the room? I'd have to trust her. So she's kind of working odor, but she's new enough that I also know I gotta help her a little bit still. So I might do something different. Come here.
Do you recommend working on leash at home too, or do you have them loose?
Good question. If they seem like they're wanting to search for odor, so the first game is to make sure they know what they're kind of looking for. And this is what she was talking about by martingale. I'll go right back to that. If it's fitted appropriately, even when it tightens and she can't get out of it, you see how it can't keep strangling her? It still has room. That's what I'm talking about. Like it's a no-slip collar, so she can't slip out of it, but it doesn't actually continue to strangle. But so I recommend on leash if the dogs are crazy and just wild and running around, because then I can prevent some of that by just simply being calm about it, like, hey, we're gonna stay in the 6 foot area. But if they're really working for odor, and you're doing the better than a cookie game, and they wanna start searching for it, I only start, as you'll see in the homework, I actually start right next to it, so I won't go that far, and if they start to wander, I'll call them back. Soup? Yes. Now, when we go to AKC and do this, that'll be a fault, but I'll be okay by then. She can't pick up the whole box. She'll dig at it though. She has started indicating that. So you ask, like, indicator for her would be a dig. You can also train your dog to sit in an odor. It's completely up to you.
That's what our
I tend to, is this it? So typically if they find the odor, then I'll hold it. This is how I start. Sit. Oh, failed. Thank you. Look. As soon as I look at it, yes. So I don't want I gave it to you. So I don't actually want to have them looking at me for obedience. And part of the problem when we just do, complete odor, like bed bugs, it's an indication of a fairly microscopic thing, right? If we're doing odor, if we're doing actual scent work, you're going to have a judge judging you on pinpointing that odor. So if they just indicate the table, the judge will actually fault you for that and say, nope, you didn't find it. You have to find a specific place that odor was. So a lot of times I want the nose to be right on it, and so sometimes that doesn't allow for a sit or a down, which is why I like when it's small, or if it's in a container, usually she'll start pawing at it to say it's in here, and that is usually when I say, okay, she's trying to retrieve it, because she wants to retrieve it. And I tend to, depending on what I'm working on, with search it's a little bit different too. When you're doing tracking, when you're doing searching for people, searching for dogs. That's, I think, more intermediate advanced stuff for this class. So I would just, if your dog is looking at it, go right, it's right here. Yes, it is right there. Perfect. All right? So the obedience portion of what the SNORT class would be, so the different people, you can either listen or ignore for just a second, but it's going to be actually touching, coming in calls, sits, downs, and of course we got the cookie game. We're going to pretend this is a lid because I forgot my Tupperware. Way back. Here. I apologize. I'm a little haphazard tonight. I apologize for that. For the obedience portion, remember the 4 steps, right? And the 4 steps, get the definition, then cue it, then mark it, then say it. Every definition, though, is a different training session. So it doesn't mean I teach sit, down, touch, come, everything all in one session. I actually teach touch first, or eye contact first, or recall, and everything's a different session. The more you put them all together, the less the dog actually understands. If I'm just going to teach touch then, for example, please leave it. I will put a piece of treat under my thumb in a flat hand, and my touch cue is very simple. Touch, yes, and I release the treat. So then I will move to a new spot, and for 2 to 3 minutes, so like homework would be, a session would be 2 to 3 minutes, no more than 5, would be touch, yes. Touch, yes. Moving to my left hand, touch, yes. And when I start to see the dog starting to get it, I try without the treat. Yes. And I'll pay from another hand. Touch, yes. And pay from the other hand. So that the dog actually goes really easily into Harper, come, touch, 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 off, touch, yes. How many touches did she do and how many treats did she get? So once they know it, they do it. But start very simply with just treat in hand. I can do this, Mom, I can do it. She's an enthusiastic 2-year-old. Oh, hi. Touch, yes. And being able to just teach that. In 2 to 3 minutes, focus just on treats in the hand. Your second session, maybe do a couple treats in your hands, but then take away the treat and just do the hand signal. Touch, yes. And then reach and pay. So that they actually start to see that this is very simply, put my nose to the palm of your hand, yes, and I get paid. Why is that important? To me, touch is a universal trick and a universal obedience cue. If they're running the other direction and you say, come touch, what do they have to do if they know it? come put their nose right on your hand. If I need them to just redirect from barking or whining or trying to chase a squirrel, I actually can say COME, TOUCH, and we'll do it. Even my little bulldog has learned that. So it's a really, really important thing to teach your dog versus even like sitting down and stays. I generally say if you can teach your dog attention and a recall, you actually don't need any other obedience because you can get them out of any bad situation. The rest is just icing on the cake. They're all just tools in your toolbox. Yes. So does the dog pay attention to the words or the behavior? I'm gonna piss her off. I can see my 2-year-old. But does she pay attention to words or behavior? Behavior. So if you teach the picture that you want, you actually don't even need the words. So why are we saying words? Because we want to say them. So she's looking, come touch. Yes. Get her away from just about anything. Makes sense though? So touch is the very first thing. If you're going to teach come when called, because I think that's important. Hi. I go, come touch. Yes. Very simple. So if I'm by myself, I will toss a treat away. Oh, I'll find it. Good. Come touch. Does anybody pick up when I'm saying the words? Come touch. Right? When she starts, come back. I am not saying come touch until she's actually dedicated towards me. So that in hopes, Harper, come touch. Yes. When she is busy later, I can just call her away from what I want. But until I've taught her what come touch means, I can't expect her to know it. So she's busy. Harper, come touch. Yes. So you see how touch comes in handy? But then being able to have her in motion to me is actually COME or here or whatever we're going to use. But I tend to get them to come, have them touch. Even if you just get them to come, it's fine. But I usually will throw in a touch here and there. So touch, come and call. Your basic obedience, you're sitting, you're down, totally fine. Because you can work on that in between, and we'll start to add stays and things like that. But get them in position first. My definition is butt on ground looking at me. Sit. Yes. Now when I said yes, where did her eye contact go? Did anybody see? To my hand. Is she wrong? Nope. Yes, ends the exercise. She's like, all right, okay, here's my paycheck. You know, if your boss said you worked 40 hours, here, I'm going to give you a paycheck, but then didn't, how do you feel? I'm a reliable boss. Ready? But then I also want to practice on the right-hand side. Sit. Yes. But then also on the left-hand side. Sit. Yes. Where is the obedience cue happening? When she's already in position, and when she's already looking at me and giving me attention. Then, hopefully, Harper, come, sit. Yes. When I need it, I can ask for it. That kind of makes sense? So the 4 steps apply to any behavior. In addition, luring them into a down, if you've already done that, awesome. But I lure them when she's looking at me, not the food. You can test it. Plus, yes. So, get them in the definition that you want, and I tend to say for some of the stationary things like sitting down, they need eye contact. I want them paying attention. So for tonight's class, we're going to do sitting down and stay and recalls, and you're going to work on sniffers, and this is how you do the sniffers course, and this is how you do the order. All right, great, have a good night. That's class. How would you feel? Give you attention, right? You think I should be more crazy than I already am. I want to teach attention, so I want to teach the dog to pay attention. So don't ask for it, wait for it. Have it be their decision. I promise you, well, here's a good question. Who is controlling your dog? You or the dog? The dog. The dog. Great answer. I usually have dollar bills when I get doing yes.
No strings either.
I don't know the Cheetos. You sometimes have Cheetos too, but really, in all reality, even if the leash is here, she is controlling herself. Whether she decides to pull me or not is really up to her. You can correct them and check them and do everything you want to them, tell them no, but you're not giving them any other feedback. They're still actually just avoiding then the correction, or avoiding the fear, or avoiding the pain potentially. I want her thinking, let's go. Come touch. Yes. I want her thinking like, working for me is fun. Did she feel a pull of any of that leash? No. And do I have snacks? Absolutely. Harper, come touch. Oh, decisions. That was slow. I can't pay her. Because now what happened? She didn't get why yes. So I don't have to say yes and pay if I didn't quite like the behavior. She did do it, good girl, but she had to hesitate. She's not necessarily wrong. It was still a good girl, but in order to pay, I need it like this. So then she starts to learn. Can you say hi? Harper, come touch. You're gonna get treated time on. Was she faster? Right? Faster that time? And it was just, go say hi. She's like, all right. Harper, come touch. Good girl. Huh. Huh. But pay the behaviors you really like, and if you didn't quite like it, or you're not sure about it, just say good girl, good boy. You know, give them feedback. It was good, but it's not payable. It wasn't correct. Like, it wasn't exactly what I wanted. But instead, then set them up for what you do want. Okay? And then the actual odor game is the last one for SNORT. So basically, that's the obedience part. Now, the target part of the SNORT class, I don't have a lid. I apologize. Slacking tonight. Here. I didn't have my scent kits done either. It's a long week. But what the target is I want you to start working on that for Tricks Week, because I want them ideally, it might not happen for all dogs, and that's okay too, but ideally I want them, like say, if we pretend for a second, I'll get you pretending. If we pretend for a second that this is actually a Tupperware lid, the only thing I want them to start doing is to start stepping on it. Are you shopping? I don't have to shop. And so in order to do that, I will lure the behavior, so I will take the cheese and try to get her to step on it. Because eventually the long-term behavior will actually be to potentially like turn off a light switch, turn on a light switch, press a button, play the keyboard. I actually have a nice little keyboard at home now that they can play. Yes. So the first part is just to get her to step on it. Like, it's not a lid. Yes. There you go. And then I'll move it. Yes. Oh, almost. Now, I said yes, kind of partially touching it, but I said yes, so I'm going to pay. Just don't do it 3,000 more times. Yes. Good. Thank you, Retriever. Did you not read the Doberman book? So then, when I get her to start stepping on it a couple of times, I just want her to stay on it, right? Yes, to feel it. And how you start to do the target is you just take the Tupperware lid, you put it on the ground, you lure them to try to step on it. Yes, and as soon as they step on it, they get paid. If they don't touch, they do it, yes. They do it really well with just a TOECH, right? But then I start to just pause a second to say if you're on it, yes, that's correct. Okay? So now we move it again and see what she does. Yes. Now, did anybody hear when I yes that? Did you see what she was doing? Was she off? She was what?
She was halfway down to a play ball.
Halfway down to a play ball? Did anybody see what she was doing with her mouth?
She was touching.
She was opening her mouth, like to pick it up, and her feet were on it. So what behavior did I pay? In her mind, I have no idea. Right? How many behaviors do they offer in a very short period of time? A lot. Harper, come. Yes. And all I want to start doing is getting her more reliably about standing on it, because then you could start to say target. You could start to say paw. Typically, I won't say anything that I might use for shake or high five later, but as the concept grows, yes, we start to pay for up higher. Yes. how we start to have her target. Because then potentially it's a light switch, which I don't have in here because those are sideways. That would be a touch with my hand to target, basically that way. But do you see how hopefully if we pretend that's an actual Tupperware lid, you can do it very easily with even a paper plate, if you have those at home. But just take something that they can actually just put their paw on, because then you can start moving it around, and as soon as they step on it, it's a yes. And then you can start to say target if you want, or you just teach them to step on it, because then I can start moving it up the wall and moving it onto a chair, and they can actually start stepping on things that you might not always want if you do it on a counter, but if you do want them to turn off the light switch, it's really easy to do. Leave it. Come. Touch. Thank you. Rat. So that's obedience and everything there. I want to take a little bit of a break. Are there any questions before we take a little break? Because then I'll bring Captain out and we'll do some just brand new dog order, which your dog's probably going to do. No questions? Okay. So if you need to use the restroom, get a drink of water, we'll take a mini break, and then we'll go from there.
Go to the bathroom. Go potty.